Hello friends, in this video lecture we will discuss about ecological succession. This also known as biotic succession, and this was termed by the scientist Hult. So what is ecological succession? If we discuss about that, this is a sequence of gradual changes in terms of vegetation in any naked or bare area. Here the changes are very slow, and this takes thousand or more than thousand years in few cases for development of vegetation in that particular area. So definition is given here. Ecological succession is the gradual and fairly predictable changes that occurs for species composition in any given area. This is called ecological succession or biotic succession. This succession generally occurs in bare or naked areas where common plants will not normally grow. Why? Because of absence of soil, and if there is no soil, then vegetation is not possibly, and that's why there is no chances for survival of animals because there is absence of food as well as shelter. Biotic succession is firstly carried out by plants. During this process, some species colonizes and their population rapidly grow and becomes numerous, while at the same time some population of other species decline and they may also be disappeared sometime. So the entire sequence of communities that are successively changes in any given area is also called Sere. Now next about the types of successional communities. In any naked or barren area, how succession occurs, that communities or that vegetation broadly may categorize into three. So these three are like pioneer communities, second seral or transitional communities which exist in the mid of succession, while the last is climax community, that also known as climax community. So first is about pioneer community. What is pioneer community? So as the word saying, pioneer means first. So these are the first ever community of plants that develop in any bare area or any naked area, and this takes the longest time in converting that bare or naked area into suitable area where second or subsequential or serial communities may develop. Why this takes the longest time? Because environmental condition of that particular region is not at all suitable for any kind of vegetation growth. So that's why this takes huge time. Pioneer species, they often have high rate of growth, but their lifespan is very short, so that they can produce a lot of organic matter, and this organic matter enriches that barren area or naked area for making the area suitable for the growth of the new secondary or serial communities to grow at that site. Now the second community is serial or transitional community. So this is the community which comes after pioneer community, and this community is known as transitional because this exists in between pioneer as well as final, that is climax community. So this is transitional community, and this community slowly builds soil and also show increase in biodiversity in that particular area. The third and last, this is climax community that we discuss, also known as climatic climax community, because this community is the most stable one, and this develops finally in the last of succession in that area. So this is highly stable, self-perpetuating, and this community carries its own closed mineral cycling, stratification, and a number of complex food webs. This all makes the system highly stable, and this type of community, as we discussed, develops in the end of biotic or ecological succession in that particular area, and this community is carrying maximum species diversity. So the climax community is not getting easily disrupted until there is massive changes in atmospheric condition or environmental condition. Now about the types of succession, how many types may be their succession? So there are three criteria. On that basis we categorize succession into three. So first criteria is taken on the basis of nudity of that particular area. So what kind of nakedness or nudity exists in any particular area, on that basis. This is categorized further into two: primary succession as well as secondary succession. Primary succession, this also known as Sere, and this succession occurs in those kind of places where there is no vegetation at all in past. What are these kind of places? So these kind of places are like newly exposed seafloor, igneous rocks which is formed by the volcanic lava, sand dunes as well as mud banks. Second is about secondary succession, that also known as sub-Sere. This type of succession takes place in those areas which earlier have huge vegetation but recently there is no vegetation, or recently they get denuded. Why? There may be a number of reasons, just like because of fire, just because of deforestation of that area, overgrazing of that region, as well as volcanic eruption and floods may also be the reason for denudation of that particular area. Now if we discuss about these two, primary succession and secondary succession. Primary succession is the first succession that ever occurs in any naked area where there is no past history of any kind of vegetation. That's why this takes long time to complete. Here 1000 or more than 1000, sometimes we can say millions of years may takes place. While secondary succession, this takes nearly 50 to 100 or sometime 200 years, because already there is soil that carries huge amount of nutritive substances and sometimes vegetative propagules that are asexual vegetative structures. Sometimes seed may also be there inside the soil. So there is quick secondary succession with respect to primary succession. Now second type of succession, that is on the basis of replacement. So again this categorized into two: autogenic succession as well as allogenic succession. So first is autogenic succession. This succession occurs due to modification of environment by the plant community its own self, and this plant community is getting replaced by another suitable vegetation or plant community. While second is allogenic succession. So allo means different. Here the plant vegetation which is existing in that particular area is not its own self responsible for succession in that particular area. Here there may be a number of external conditions like human activities, like other environmental conditions, they may be responsible for such type of succession. The third one is succession on the basis of locality, means in which particular place succession is going on. On that basis there are many, but here only four are given. So first, xeroseri, succession that occurs in dry area is known as xeroseri. Second, hydroseri, so succession in naked water body is hydroseri. Lithoseri, succession on bare rocks, lithoseri. Samoseri, succession on sand or sand dunes, this is known as samoseri. In NCERT only there is discussion about xeroseri and hydroseri, means succession in dry area as well as succession in water body. When we discuss about any kind of succession, the ultimate fate of any succession is to convert into mesic or mesophytic vegetation. When we discuss about zero Sere, so zero Sere starts from dry area and this one is getting converted into magic area or mesophytic vegetation. Same when we discuss about hydro Sere, this starts from naked water body and again this converted into mesophytic or magic vegetation, and the same for lithocere as well as samocere. So what is mesophytic or magic condition? This condition is, we can say, moderate, means here there is not huge or excess amount of water, means this is not too much wet or hydric, and at the same time there is no too much dry condition, like this is also not xeric in nature.